As we mentioned earlier, the ACC network is featuring different schools on different days. Today it is North Carolina Day. So we thought we would reach out to a few former North Carolina athletes to talk about their experience at UNC, but also it's the day after the Michael Jordan documentary aired on ESPN. So we're talking about that as well. We might converge those right now with our next guest. She won 2 national titles at UNC. She's a member of the North Carolina Courage, the U.S. women's national team. She was a 3-sport athlete and a junior college All American at Phoenix College. She was also, I read this earlier today, the only mom on the U.S. women's national team squad last summer, which made for a lot of great moments when her son was around in France. We got some great pictures. Joining us now from the North Carolina Courage and the U.S. women's national team, it is Jessica McDonald. Jessica, thanks for joining us. How are you doing?
Oh, great. Thank you so much for having me.
We should have gone with what they did on the Last Dance documentary where they showed the titles. We should have said, we have Jessica McDonald, former Cactus High School
Yes.
400 meter record holder.
Let's start there, Jessica. Did you watch the MJ documentary last night?
I did. Yeah.
What were you are a elite level athlete yourself, so you watch it through a different lens than us who are just, random guys who watch sports from their couch. What did you think observing a documentary about another elite athlete last night?
Yeah, you know what? It was so cool. And of course it's Michael Jordan, so you already know at the end of the day it's going to be very inspiring, but it's an amazing thing to obviously see a little more in depth and sort of see the things that you can have in common with such an incredible athlete. So it's just a really mind-blowing thing to obviously see, and I cannot wait till next Sunday, obviously. So now I'll be twiddling my thumbs waiting for that day to come.
Yeah, we're all kind of in that boat now. Like we gotta wait another week for another 2 hours that we're all sort of watching together. Jessica, I gotta ask you this: you were an elite athlete not only in soccer, the sport that you continue to excel out, but like Michael Jordan, you kind of had choices. I mean, he grew up thinking he might be a professional baseball player. You excelled not only in soccer, but basketball as well. You set records in your high school at track. You did those sports for the first couple years in college. How did you decide which sport you wanted to focus on? And have you ever considered pulling a Michael Jordan, maybe taking a pause in your soccer career and running track or playing basketball?
Yeah, it'd be really cool. It's so funny because I was actually joking like over Christmas break with my uncle, and I was like, "Hey, what if when I retire from soccer, I just wouldn't try it out for the WNBA?" And he was
Yeah.
like, "You should do it." And I was like, "Oh dear God!" So I don't know. We'll see, but yeah, it was kind of nice too. Obviously, you have options, of course, but I realized at the time that I was succeeding a little bit more in soccer. It was just kind of taking me all over the world, whereas like basketball and track just kind of kept me here in the States. And so I was able to seek a lot more opportunity with soccer and just being a part of the youth national soccer teams and having the experience playing at the Pan American Games with the national team. So like just those little things I was able to dabble into with soccer, and so just enjoyed it a little more. I think it's because of more so the traveling and the experiences it was kind of giving me. So it was a pretty easy decision to make, believe it or not.
Jessica McDonald joining us from the North Carolina Courage and the U.S. Women's National Team. All right, though, Jessica, let me play your uncle, though, and push you a little bit. I know you would never want to disrespect WNBA players, and obviously any athlete who competes at the highest level puts in a lot of work. But if we gave you 6 months or a year to train, do you think you could play at the WNBA level? You think you could be on a roster?
Oh, wow. Yeah, I'm just going to say it with confidence.
I
I'm
like
going to
it.
say yes.
I like it. Jessica McDonald joining us from the North Carolina Courage. Hey, we are talking about UNC Day on the ACC network. I don't know if you've seen, they've been doing this, but yeah, a different school every day and sort of featuring that school. When you think about your time in Chapel Hill, a lot of folks sort of choose a school. Obviously, if you wanted to be a women's soccer player for a long time, UNC was the mecca. But then you see some folks, I think I remember seeing a documentary on Abby Wambach who said, because the great players went to UNC, I wanted to go somewhere else and blaze my trail. How did you make that decision of going to the place where the great soccer players tend to go versus trying to pick somebody else and establish a program that I built, around my name as opposed to following the names of these other legends?
Oh, yeah, I definitely want to be a part of a dynasty. That's for sure. Just being in sort of a winning environment and obviously getting the experience of learning from one of the greatest coaches of all time, Anson Dorrance. To be honest, it doesn't really get any better than that. So it was an easy pick for me because I wanted to be challenged, on and off the field. And so UNC was definitely able to do that for me.
Jessica McDonald joining us from the North Carolina Courage. We talked about you being a multi-sport athlete. Jessica, I'm about to bring up a moment from about a year ago where you were playing soccer, but it was at a hockey game. Let's see if we've got sound of that, Dennis Cox.
And Jessica McDonald will take a penalty kick on Brock McGinn. I mean, she's got to score.
Well, a little bit smaller of a net, not as much room.
Oh, yeah. Look at that celebration. Thank you, Jessica.
All right, so I got to ask you, how nervous were you, not only at the size of the goal, but I would be more nervous about kicking on ice, Jessica. Were you nervous, or were you worried about Steve Malik, the owner of the North Carolina Courage, was nervous seeing one of his prize players out there kicking on ice? What was that experience like?
I know. Oh, my goodness. That was so wild. And the crazy thing is, I didn't even know I was even going to kick a ball. I didn't even know walking out there that was even going to happen, And so one of the players just kind of hands me the ball, and he's like, "Here, take this. You're going to take a PK." And I was like, "Excuse me?" He's like, "Yeah, you're going to take a PK." I was like, "What kind of PK?" Like, I need like a hockey stick. And he's like handed me a soccer ball. And I'm like, "Oh, dear God." Like, I bust my tail on this ice in front of all these people, and it's on ESPN. Like,
yep.
It was just one of those things like close your eyes and cross your fingers and just hope and pray you don't slip. So I was pretty lucky there that I didn't slip, but they gave me these sort of rubber bottoms to like put on my shoes. I was able to like wrap around my shoes and then put on. I'm not sure what it's really called, but it's what like a lot of people use to walk on ice. But yeah, that definitely helped keep me stable. That's for sure.
Yeah, you nailed it.
Jessica, we were actually in Chapel Hill at UNC at the same time, so I'm happy to ask you this question because I will know exactly some of the places you will say. We just wanted to play not a little game, but kind of give us like maybe your top 2 or 3 of each of these categories. You have to pick 2 places to eat in Chapel Hill and 2 places to go grab a drink or have a beer. What would you put on like your Mount Rushmore of places like that in Chapel Hill?
Breadman's is probably one of my favorite places. Like I love pancakes. Pancakes is really like my favorite food. So Breadman's like it definitely lured me in. That's for sure. And then you're talking about drinks. I mean, Top of the Hill's great because they also have like sort of appetizer type things. So that's probably like one of my favorite places to like kind of grab a drink and also eat a little bit. So.
Okay.
All right, Breadman's and Top of the Hill. Those are 2 that also have were there when you were there and still hold on. Sometimes the places we love in college are gone. Right. We're back there 10 years later.
She didn't say Bob's Porch or he's not.
I know, she's avoiding ones that we know that she hung out at that she just doesn't want to say now because we'll judge her.
Yeah, he's not. Yeah.
And Jessica, last thing, obviously, we miss not seeing you on the pitch right now. We miss not seeing the North Carolina Courage. We've seen the NWSL has, push back their workout time. Everything is sort of up in the air right now with sports. How are you and your teammates coping in this unusual time? How are you staying in touch and how are you staying in shape right now?
Yeah, so one incredible thing about the Courage is, nothing's really going to stop us. And one cool thing that Coach Paul Riley did was he sent us a workout partner who is pretty much our roommate. Even though I don't live with the team, I actually live in Chapel Hill, and but he placed me with another player who lives by herself, Abby Dahlkemper. So she's been my training partner, and he sends us videos and workouts to do with our partner, and we've been still able to train that way. Even though it's not like playing, we're not doing 5v5 or anything like that because we're not allowed to do contact.
Sure.
It kind of takes away from your sharpness for games, but I mean, we're still able to train and have a partner to do so. So that's kind of the positivity of it all. So it's actually been kind of nice, but, at the end of the day, it does suck that our season got pushed back, but obviously for a good reason, of course. We have to make sure everyone stays healthy, obviously, and so during this entire pandemic. But yeah, it's actually been okay, to be honest, and kind of giving my body a little bit of a break as well, which is kind of a positive too. So it's actually really not that bad. Yeah, I'm not really complaining too much.
There have been some silver linings for all this. And like you said, the safety and health of people are first. But whenever it comes, we will be excited to see the Courage back there dominating once again. We appreciate all you do for us here locally, playing for the Courage and representing us on the U.S. women's national team as well. Jessica McDonald, thanks so much for the time. Keep working out with Abby. She actually stopped by the program about a week ago. So you can tell her we said hello, and we can't wait to see you playing again soon. Thanks so much for the time today, Jessica.
Awesome. Thank you for having me, you guys.